Hello everyone, welcome to Tactica Imperialis and to today's video. Today is going to be, as is now fast becoming a tradition, my 2018 year in review. I want to go back over the year that we've just had, have a look back on things, and I've not got my camera square. So yeah, I want to go back over this year, have a look at where we've come from, where we've been, where we are, and where we are going. It's something I enjoy doing because it allows me to reflect a little bit and look back on things I'm doing right, things I'm not doing right. Because you tell me exactly what I'm not doing right, as much as you do that every single week. And I do appreciate doing this sort of thing because it just allows me to reflect a bit. Something that is a little bit difficult to do because my life goes at a bajillion miles an hour. So let's get the numbers out of the way first. Thank you very much for all your support and sticking around with the channel this year. You've got us up to nearly 22,000 subscribers at the time of recording, which is ridiculous. I still don't understand how that's a thing, but it's a thing. And so thank you again for that and all your support continually over the past, well, almost 5 years at this point, although most of you probably haven't been around that long, I'll admit. My early content was a bit dire. So, yeah, as I said, the channel's coming up on 5 years old now, which is ridiculous in its own way. And I'm probably going to do a couple of things for 5 years. I'm thinking I'll do something immediately, and then I've got a longer-term project that I've got ready to go, well, almost ready to go. Which I will do as part of the 5-year celebration as well. So I'll put a special video out for that probably next week, maybe at the start of the week after that. Sometime in the new year there will be an announcement of what we're doing for 5 years on YouTube, which is nuts, totally nuts. So, how has this year been? Well, this year has been a mixed bag. On the channel, it's been fantastic for the most part. The content has been generally of a very high quality. The new microphone has done its job, as much as the surroundings have not allowed it to sound as good. Yes, comments, I do notice the fact that you say I have a bad mic. I don't have a bad mic, I have a bad setup. And I apologise for that, but with the logistics and the finances involved, it is just not practical right now for me to invest in the sound dampeners. I don't have a small, like, confined space with the dampening that I could use to record and try and not get some of the issues I've got with my mic. But it's something I'm aware of and I'm going to try and sort out at some point, but it will probably be after I get myself settled into work and a steady living situation where I have my own place that I can properly kit out for YouTube mode. Which is obviously not ideal, but it is probably going to be the case because I don't really have a choice. It's a bit impractical right now, but hey. The content itself, I've been really happy with most of the content. My Thoughts On has gone from strength to strength. As part news article, part review, part opinion piece. I'm really happy with My Thoughts On in general. Hobby projects, I'm very happy with a town called Malice, my Stormcast project, which I started in 2017 and finished in May this year. And an Elfin Adventure, whilst I admit I've been unable to keep it going at the rate I wanted to, partially due to fracturing my collarbone and having surgery on that, meaning I didn't basically have a right arm for several weeks. I am very pleased with the balls I got out of that project, and I will be finishing it off in the new year, and then hopefully moving on to something new, though I don't know what that's going to be yet, because as much as I want to work on my orcs, I'll probably work on them in my own time. Then there's the Gloomspite, the new Grot army, and that looks amazing. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do for my next project, but there will be another project at some point, I am almost sure of it. 40k Stories, we've covered a real wide range of topics. We started with Regiments of Renown. We were starting that at the end of 2017, but we pushed on with that into 2018. My Astra Militarum series, I'm very happy with that series. I think it's a really good series there. And whilst there are some people that I did miss, like the Tanith First and Only, I covered them in my video on the Astra Militarum, and kind of the same reason as why I didn't do some stuff is why I don't do AOS lore. I haven't read the books, or I don't have time to read the books again if I have read them, or read them for the first time, I don't have the funds and all that. So I don't feel I'd do it justice to cover those topics. It would be low quality content. It would be basically just me not happy with the videos, and I don't want to ever upload something I'm not happy with putting out. So I've made that sacrifice, and that's why there's no AOS lore for those who ask, and it's why certain people get omitted from getting more videos because I don't have the right books and I don't have always the time to do the fullest research that I can, so I wouldn't be able to do them justice, so I don't upload it. That's my basic principle on that. But what we have covered, we then did Champions of Humanity, the Space Marine series, which I really enjoyed. I was really happy with some of the videos of Champions of Humanity. The Dante one particularly, the first one, I was really happy with that. The Gilliman episode that we did for 20,000 subscribers, very happy with that episode. But obviously there's a lot of characters I missed in that series because I wanted Gilliman to be the end point when we hit 20k. We hit 20k a little bit too fast. So that happened, and I do apologise again for that. But there will be other characters that I will cover in future. Bjorn the Fell-Handed is a very commonly requested one, so I think Bjorn the Fell-Handed will definitely get a video at some point, even though he is sort of mentioned in the Space Wolf Legions video. I think he does have enough there to warrant it. So he'll get a video at some point. And I've got a few lore videos that I've got coming out in the new year, which I'm pretty pleased about. Some of the topics are getting a little bit more niche now, because we've sort of covered a lot of the broad stroke stuff. So it's nice to be able to focus in and really go into depth on some topics. Outside of those, we've had very few battle reports. Hold my hand up. The logistics of recording in France was basically I couldn't unless I was very, very lucky, because the shop had to play music, which was copyrighted, and I didn't always get time. I was very busy, and I had a lot of apathy when I was in France, I'll be completely honest with you. But that was impractical. I did a bit of recording over summer for AOS 2, and part of that will contribute to the 5,000 subscribers. The 5 years thing. Sorry. It's tired, I'm late. So I've done a fair bit of recording, but that was all for AOS. 40k hasn't had a bat rep this year, which is kind of bad. But bat reps have just become a little bit difficult, and it's something that I hope my friends, if they ever find the time, I've never forced my friends to make content, but if they ever want to make content and contribute to the channel, aside from moderating my Discord server, then they're more than welcome to do that. Streaming, we kind of had to stop streaming because of bad Wi-Fi. Sorry, English Wi-Fi. Eduroam, you suck. So that's why we haven't been streaming very much. I apologise for that. And then there was Adeptus Podcastus. The podcast has gone from strength to strength for the most part. Episode 50 was a blast. We're up to 60 now. But we did, Alexis did sadly choose to leave the podcast. She's given her reasons, and I completely understand them. And I'll put my hands up and say I'm probably the one responsible. I'm not going to go potentially misquoting people, so I'm not going to say anything too in-depth. But what happened, as I'm sure most of you know, I basically made a lot of mistakes. I didn't realise I was making those mistakes. I messed up. And whilst we have reconciled since and we're good friends, I do admit that I am probably the main contributing factor for her leaving the podcast. So I apologise for that profusely. I'm sorry about that. I know people have mixed opinions on whether the new version or the old version, quote unquote, is better. That's up to you. But I'm probably the catalyst for that change. It's my fault, and I do apologise for it. So yeah, that happened. My bad. But the podcast itself has still done really well. We had some great guests, both in the first half of the year and the second half. I got to meet so many new people. Again, we worked with Black Library a couple of times. We've had Ike Desky Bowden, Rob McNiven, Gav Thorpe have come on the show, and they've all been fantastic guests, and I've loved working with them. And I've met 4 more people from TTS, and we've had some people who I've known by association but never really got to talk to. So yeah, it's been a really good year in that sense. I haven't done as much collaborative work with other people in terms of just making my own content in collaborative videos, but that, I think, was sort of something had to give, and that was what gave. I just ran out of time, and organisation just was not going to fly, and it it got a little bit difficult, so I apologise for not getting that done. But generally, decent year, and I can't complain over much. I'm very happy with where the channel's at, and I think it's going roughly in the right direction. But what is that direction? What are we doing in 2019? Well, first off, we'll be having the end of an Alpha Adventure. We'll be finishing that project off eventually. I've got a few boxes left to do. I'm probably not going to buy any more than what I've got, unless I want to finish a battalion or something. But I'll be finishing off the Daughters and probably adding in the Malekith model that I've got, if I ever get around to buying some super glue and getting the time to paint the thing. So we will hopefully get that project done. We'll start a new project, I'm sure, though, whether it will be an episodic one or it will just be irregular updates as I work on an army, I don't know yet. The lore will continue to grow, and as GW keeps putting it out, I'll keep continuing to cover it. Hopefully we'll get great releases. I can continue to do those sorts of things for my thoughts on. White Dwarf is having a massive revamp, so if you want me to start buying and reviewing White Dwarf, maybe I might do my thoughts on for the first issue of White Dwarf in 2019, because it's promised a big shake-up. I like the way it's going, so I might do a review of the first White Dwarf, and if you want me to do White Dwarf reviews or discussion pieces, then do let me know. Specialist games, I'm probably not going to be able to do much with, just because I don't have enough to play them with, at least for the time being, but we shall see. And other than that, I guess we'll keep pushing forward, keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully make stuff that you enjoy watching. But obviously, I've always said it, it isn't just about me, this channel. It's about my friends, it's about you guys, particularly at home. So if you have anything you want to see this year that is practical, then do let me know, and I will see what I can do about working it in, maybe as a one-off, or maybe a mini-series, or even just adding a brand new feature to the channel. I don't know, let me know. Always, communication, communication, communication. Communication is key. Give it. I want the information. I want to know what you want so I can give you the best content that I can for you. Okay? Tell me. Please tell me. But I have to admit, there are some things going on that's going to make 2019 a little bit interesting. As I say, it's our 5th birthday, so I intend to make this as good a year as I can, work with some new people if I can. I've got 1 or 2 people in my mind that I really want to work with, and keep the podcast going, keep working with new people there, and maybe hopefully get the Black Library conference call. That would be amazing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to make 2019 as good a year as I can for our 5th birthday. But there are some practical issues that are going to come up. Firstly, I'm graduating, so it's my final semester of university, which is going to be hectic, very, very hectic. I've got a research project to do, I'll have exams again, I've got exams in January, I'll have more exams. I'll be interviewing to go into the world of work, which will probably be starting around, well, I don't know yet, but hopefully I'll be working come the new academic year. I think I've said before, I'm planning to become a teacher. So I'm planning to put that into my life, and that will obviously give me a very rigid timetable of where I am, when I am, so that might limit content time. And also being a teacher does potentially have implications for the channel. Obviously I'm not getting rid of the channel at all. This channel is secondarily a source of income, but primarily it's my hobby, it's my outlet, it's my thing to, you know, be not a social outcast. So I definitely will keep the channel going, but being a teacher will potentially have consequences in terms of time, and whilst I don't think it will affect my content that I create all that much, it might in some ways. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll continue to put videos out as best as I can. The podcast is going nowhere. It's going to be a fun time, I do not doubt. Just, I wanted to have you forewarned, and when I know better what the situation is going to be, I'll put a full video out and we'll discuss that in full, because at that point I'll be better armed with the information. So, I think that's broadly everything. The content has been good this year, the channel's done well. Not everything's gone brilliantly. Obviously, the changes in the podcast, you may think they're better, you may think they're worse. Personally, I do feel like I screwed up, and so even if the consensus of the podcast has got better, I still feel bad for screwing up, because I don't like to annoy or upset people. It's not my way. But hey, it happened, and hopefully lessons learned going forward. If anything changes in my life, whether that's academically, personally, whatever else, I will let you know, especially if it will impact the channel, because at that point, well, obviously it will affect what you're seeing, and that's important. So going forward, you can look forward to on New Year's Eve, my hopes for 2019. This is kind of my last video of 2018, that's sort of a first video of 2019, although it'll come out on New Year's Eve, so messy, take it either way. But you got that to look forward to. I've got a couple of lore videos that I'm quite happy with what I've made, and I think you're going to enjoy them. And of course, my thoughts on will be back, because the Gloomspike Gits have taken my imagination and gone bananas. So, thank you very much for sticking around and being part of this whole experience once again. It's been a challenging year. France really did a number on me, and then I broke my arm. Well, I broke my collarbone, technically. So it's not been the best year, but I can't complain over much, and I do hope you have enjoyed it. And let me know what you want in 2019. Let me know what you're thinking for the new year. And yeah, just keep talking. The more you talk, the more I can create in a way that you enjoy. So thank you very much for watching Tactica Imperialis, both now and over the past year, and over the past 5 years as it almost is. And I will see you all very, very soon with a brand new video. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all again. Bye for now.